Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Bat Châtillon 155-58. It's the Tier 10 French SPG and we're located on the northeast spawn of Live Oaks. Now the player is Fade to Black of Philo, and in this battle he receives team damage from one of his team right at the start of the battle. That's why I'm putting the visuals up straight away. The AMX-30 first prototype, which is a little way off there in the distance, is going to put a shot into Fade to Black right at the start of the battle and will leave him on only 16% of his health for the rest of the game. Here he comes. He claims it's a misfire, but he aims directly at the Bat Chat, and then he admits later on in chat that he does it to clickers on a regular basis because he hates Arty. So watch the chat. He says, "Sorry, touchpad." The Carnarvon says lel, and the 40-ton says ha ha. And the Bat Chat says, well, I'm going to complain. And then the Carnarvon says Arty already won. So it looks like we've got some Arty haters. And Fade to Black has loaded his 3 shells, but rather than firing at the enemy, he's actually sending a message to the team killer, or the attempted team killer, in chat. Says, don't worry AMX, I won't be shooting at anything you light up. He's going to deliberately choose not to shoot at anything that the AMX-30 is spotting, so he doesn't get any points of Fade to Black shells. And the AMX-30 says, KK, I would just steal your damage, you would just steal my damage anyway. And this replay is going on to a well-known streamer's website. Well, it's going to What Arty Noobs, and of course we're going to make sure that everyone knows that the YAR in the AMX-30 is a team killer. And in fact, actually, Fade to Black calls him a team bleeder because he bled the Arty of health. Now, if you continue to watch chat, you will see that the conversation continues even as Fade to Black is aiming and waiting for the first enemy sighting. And they spotted an enemy on the west side of the map, and I believe that Fade to Black is now going to fire at him. And he says, enjoy the infamy to AMX-30. Okay, Panzer 58 Mutz. And he wipes him out, one shot. And of course the AMX-30 does not benefit from that whatsoever in terms of spotting damage, because he's on the other side of the map. No, and the AMX-30 says, no problem, I'm known among my friends for my hate for clickers. Okay, Rheinmetall falls sick. He's just been wiped out by the Bat Chat. And we fired our round in and it hits the wreck. But we've got an Object 257. Rounds out. Direct hit. Or is it? No, it's a near miss. But it was still 297 hit points. So it's still a nice hit. So Fade to Black's managed to get 450 hit points so far. And of course the Carnarvon is asking for help from Arty. He's saying attention to particular grid square. And of course Fade to Black's not going to help at all. He says, whilst the AMX is spotting, I'm not targeting. Because he bled me down to 20% health. He took me down to 20%. He's actually down to 16% of his health. And he's reloading. And he's completed the reload. He's got 3 shells ready to go. He's got a 155mm howitzer, but he's not going to fire it at any target that the AMX is lighting up. And the Carnarvon's saying, can you hit them clicker? And I think as soon as Fade to Black gets to the end of this road, I think he's going to respond. Okay, he's got to a nice place. Oh, this is a better spot to stop and send a message back. And the message says, can you hit them, Clicker, or are you just a 12-year-old kid with a tier 10 Arty? And he says, I can hit them, but I'm not helping a team leader. So he's effectively telling the other team members, if you have somebody who attacks his own Arty and kills them, we're not going to help you. And the AMX-30 says, I'm not the one who's spotting them though. Well, it doesn't really matter. The fact is, if you attack your own Arty, Arty doesn't have to help you at all. Arty can pick and choose who he fires at, and he's firing at this lurver. Because this lurver's not being spotted by the AMX-30, he's being spotted by the Bat Chat who's nearby. And we're lining up another shot on the lurver. Rounds out. And that's a direct hit. 235 hit points. And the lurver's gone down, and that's the end of the game. So this is the end of battle result, and it's still a positive result for Fade to Black, even though he took a massive hit right at the start of the game. He didn't actually get any medals or any tanker awards, but if we look at the team score, we can see that he actually came in with 824 hit points of damage. He managed to get 1 kill and base XP of 530. If we look for the attempted team killer, that was the Yar in the AMX Premier Prototype. And he managed 1,520 hit points of damage, 2 kills and 620 base XP. But when you see the detailed report, this is when it gets interesting. You can see that Fade to Black fired 5 rounds. He got 2 direct hits, 2 penetration and 2 splash. Damage of 824 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. He damaged 3 of the enemy but killed 1 of them, and got 994 hit points of stun assistance of 3 stuns. On a premium account, he earned 30,575 credits, and he received compensation from the Yar of 40,501 credits. Total came to 71,077 credits, and after repair and ammunition resupply, he still walked away with 38,476 credits. He received 795 base XP on a premium, which is 1.5 times base. Times 2 for the first victory of the day. He took away 1,590 experience points. But I think the point that was being made here, was very ably made by Fade to Black, was that he wasn't going to help any member of the team or any chance that the AMX-30 would gain any spotting assistance or any damage from the shots that Fade to Black fired. So Fade to Black was deliberately not targeting the tanks on that side of the battlefield, so any damage that they took from the enemy, which of course has to be paid for by the other teammates near that AMX-30, they're not going to benefit. They're not going to they're going to have to pay for that damage out of their own pocket, because Fade to Black is deliberately not going to support them at all, because they have a team killer in their midst. And that's perfectly correct. If you're an Arty player and somebody targets you on their team and they do damage to you, and then they decide that they're going to disappear, because if they did any more damage to you, that they would be made blue, and of course that would mean that they would be team shot or team killed lawfully, then he has the right to decide not to support the team on that side and to let the team on that side suffer damage at the hands of the enemy, instead of being hit and stunned by their Arty. All he did was redirect his fire to the other side of the battlefield to ensure that the AMX-30 did not benefit at all from the actions of Fade to Black. He still won the game. I think they probably would have won it anyway, but as it stood, I think everyone who went down the east side of the map suffered because of the actions of the AMX-30, not because of the actions of Fade to Black. He quite rightfully withheld his support to tell effectively the team, I'm not going to support a team killer. I'm going to effectively say, I'm going to redirect my fire to people who deserve it. And it worked. It worked quite well. So I'd suggest to anyone out there who's an Arty player, that if this sort of thing happens to you, if you get a member of your team who damages you deliberately, as the Yar did to Fade to Black, Withhold any support or any fire support that would go in their direction. Do not support the team in that side. Support the team on the other side of the map and let them receive all the help that you can give them. And that way you're not letting the team down, because you're only directing the fire at people who deserve to get support, not those people who have a team killer in their midst. And then let them show their disapproval for people like the Yar, who can be now added to your blacklist. If you're an Arty player, do add him to your blacklist. And if you ever find him on the other side, on the other team, make sure that you tell him afterwards the only reason he was focused upon was because he's a team killer. Thanks very much for watching.